let's get right to it. Basically, we're going to cover different places to sell your coins and currency and somewhat your precious metals as well. Now that you've been collecting stuff and watching videos on YouTube and reading books and researching online, so on and so forth on your hobby, and maybe even jumping in on the community on Facebook that we have with over 9,000 members on it. We really appreciate everyone being a part of things. Let's move on. Now you have all these things. You're like, man, where do I sell this stuff? What do I do with it? Who knows? We know, so let's talk about it. Number one is going to be your local coin store. Some of you may have a local coin store, close by, or you might have to travel a little bit to get to one. There's a couple pros and cons to selling to a local coin store. Positive thing about selling to them is you'll generally get a decent market value for your rare coin or variety coin or fancy serial number or whatever you have. Another thing is that they generally are going to have a slew of price guides and up-to-date material like that related to those things. So they'll be able to reference something to give you at least a price point. And then they're going to shoot you a value probably lower than that, of course, because the con to that is they have not only overhead for the store where they have to pay for electricity and all that good stuff and rent and everything for their building, but they also have to turn around and sell that bill and sit on it or coin or whatever, but sell that item for a premium. They have to make money too. So, of course, you're not going to get the most money out of a local coin store, but it is a place that's going to be the easiest to sell it to as far as without having to post things online or whatever, which we'll talk about in a moment. Another place to sell stuff that's going to be brick and mortar is going to be a pawn shop. Well, I know what you're thinking. Pawn shops get a bad rap for a lot of people, and they're just renowned for ripping you off. But pawn shops will buy a lot of stuff like that, especially if they have a relationship with smelters and refiners, which we'll talk about later. Then they're going to give you a value for your coins and currency, most likely, depending on what it is. They're probably hunting more for historical currency rather than ones that are errors and stuff. Although errors can sell to anybody, and pawn shops might like that, depending on who runs that pawn shop or whatever. Of course, a con to that is similar to your local coin store. It's not going to be the best value. It's going to be a pawn shop value. And they're probably not going to do pawns. They're going to just want to offer you cash value for your error variety piece that you brought in. And that's going to be it. So that's another thing you can do. As far as another brick and mortar place, and I think the last one on the list, is going to be coin shows and coin conventions. Those, I've been to tons of those, and they're kind of hit and miss, to be honest with you. So coin shows and coin conventions, you can sell more likely to people who are attending the con along with you than you're going to sell to people that are just, out and about at the con, that are just viewers or people that are running panels or vendor booths. Of course, if they're a vendor booth, then, essentially what the title kind of suggests, they're going to be there to sell you coins as opposed to you selling them coins. But it does happen. They might be looking for stuff too. And of course, if you have some high echelon rare coin or currency or whatever, then you have a high likelihood of selling it to really anybody, especially at a coin show. So that's another good place to go and sell your bills and currency at. Let's talk about some non-physical, last physical place, I'll just skip to it at the bottom of the list here, is going to be smelters and refiners. So you can there are online ones, but I think that finding one locally or one that you can drive to would be the most proficient way or efficient way of doing it. Smelters and refiners don't care about the type of coin you have as far as if it's an error coin or something like that. So if you have this double die coin or something super historical and that's where it derives its value from, then a smelter and a refiner is not going to be the place you're going to want to sell that coin. They're going to be looking to melt it down. That's what they do. Smelters and refiners are going to melt things down into the most basic form they can, say, for example, into junk silver. And then they're going to sell that off based off the spot price for junk silver. So that's something to keep in mind. Same with pawn shops. They might buy your gold and stuff, like I said, because they would have a relationship with a smelter or refiner, and they would pay you a spot price on that gold or silver, depending on what the item is, the weight, and type of that precious metal. Let's jump to places online. So next on the list, I know we kind of skipped down, but online coin dealers and buyers. So these would be your places like AppMex, like PCGS, even Littleton Coins and stuff, they have a separate part that's going to buy stuff, or a department that buys various items. There's lots of different places. If you just search sell X denomination of paper currency, there's places that kind of specialize in buying $2 bills and fancy serial notes, stuff like that. So there's a lot of online dealers that are going to buy it, and then they sell it out to stores, to drop shipping and auction sites and stuff like that. That brings us to our next one, which is going to be online auction outlets. Obviously, the 600-pound panda bear in the room is going to be eBay. They're the huge dealer of everything online as far as auctions are concerned, in my opinion. There are big auction sites that are also large physical auctions, I'm sure you're aware of, that are these huge places that sell really, really rare notes and stuff like that. But eBay is a really good format to sell your stuff in. It's also a safe thing as far as securing payment and all that good stuff. You've probably used eBay before. It works the same for bills and coins. I sell a lot of stuff on eBay through my eBay account. So I guess I can say that I've had great success with it as far as when I do want to sell currency I've come across, and so on and so forth. Another place that you can do it at, which is our last thing we'll touch on, is going to be social media outlets and platforms. The biggest one, I think, is going to be Facebook. They have two different versions on the Facebook stuff. You can join a lot of different pages and groups. We have a group. It's called Coin Op Sales and Trades. I have a link in my description box of this video. In there, you just have to be 18 and older, and we kind of try to moderate things as much as we can, keep people safe on there. You can do things through secure payment portals like PayPal and Google Wallet and stuff. But you can sell your coins and currency on there. We certify all the sellers and stuff like that. They're generally, if not always, a member of our actual just group forum on Facebook, which is just called CoinOp. Another thing on there is the marketplace. I've used the Facebook marketplace a ton of times to buy stuff as well as sell it. So that's a really good place that you can post coins to, albeit I see more people selling historical stuff like wartime currency or actual slabbed coins that are already kind of graded or whatever on Facebook Marketplace, as opposed to just loose currency. So I wouldn't really think that, unless you have a big following of people that buy that type of stuff, or a large community of collectors, which is highly unlikely, in your area, then Facebook Marketplace probably wouldn't work that great, but the Facebook groups would. So, think about that. But as far as physical and digital places you can sell your coins and currency, we've touched on, I think, 6, 7 of them that are going to be good spots for you to sell your stuff. I buy things up too, so if you want to email me, email the email in the description box below. Pictures of what you have if you just want information on it, or if you want to try to sell it. I know a ton of people that, buy stuff up. Hopefully I can help you out. And I hope you found this video helpful on places to sell your stuff to. Let me know of any questions in the comments. And if you have any suggestions on places to sell to that weren't listed in this video, I love that type of stuff. Please comment that below as well. And have a wonderful day.